Hey everybody, Dr. Dave, Psychiatry here. Thanks for coming to the YouTube channel. Again, reminding you that if medication fixes what you've got, that makes it medical, not mental. I saw a patient this week, actually, and her husband a couple days ago that just prompted me to want to make a video about how that went and what happened, and I'm calling this the rescue effect, and here's why. A lot of times people come to me and they wait a long time. They drag their feet a long time, and if you've watched my second or third video about how long it takes people to make the decision to get help, sometimes that's really the biggest problem, that they just wait, honestly, just a lot of times way too long. And as I have said in that first series of videos last summer, you know, if you broke your leg, you'd go to a doctor today. If you found a lump in your breast, you'd go today. If you had a swollen testicle, you'd go to the doctor today. Well, still that happens and people don't. So yesterday or this week when I saw this gal, she had waited a long time and her husband was very concerned, and they were both really stretched to the limit on how much time they had taken to finally get in to see me. So when they called, we got him in, did the evaluation, and I did my normal troubleshooting thing and asked the questions and got a plan together, and then described for them, to describe the troubleshooting method, wrote out on the piece of paper, you know, what I was concerned about, did the whole thing, and within, you know, the period of the initial evaluation, the husband, the patient obviously looked relieved too, and she was happy that we had a plan, but the husband was really he was really very vocal about how much he appreciated just the information and the knowledge. And he said, just having knowledge that there is a medical approach to this is amazing to me. And just overcoming the idea that this is mental is just really helpful. And I told him that I was glad, because that's what I do with my new patients. I try to teach them what we're going to do so we can work as a team to get better. But he said, it's just amazing to me that I just feel so much better already. Now, in the old days, people would call this placebo effect. They'd say, okay, well, you're giving them something, or maybe the medicine, you know, technically speaking, when you give somebody medication, they feel better, and there's medicine's nothing in it like sugar. Well, that's called the placebo effect. But in the situation like I had this week with this gal and her husband, I call it the rescue effect. The reason I call it the rescue effect is, this is the analogy that I use. I said to him, the reason you probably feel this way is that you have hope. And the reason you have hope is that you have a direction. So imagine that you were in a sailboat and a storm came up and you and your wife were out there on the ocean, and it got dark, and the storm came up and your boat capsizes and you both end up in the water and the boat sinks, and you basically know that you're going to die unless something happens. Well, the pararescue jumper from the Coast Guard comes in magically and drops, the helicopter drops the pararescue guy down into the water and says, look, there's a beach a quarter mile from here. We just have to swim that direction. That's all we have to do. Just come on with me. I'm not doing it for you. You have to swim, but we're going that direction. We swim for 20 minutes and you're going to be fine. That's not placebo. And it doesn't require that the rescue swimmer pull those people out of the water. It requires that simply there be a direction and a plan and movement toward that direction with the absolute certainty of success. And that's how I feel about brain chemistry medication. I believe that when people get on the right medicine, they're going to feel better. If they are here, they're going to get here. If they're here, they're going to get here. And that's why we use medications, and that's why I'm constantly preaching that this is medical. If it fixes you with medication, that's the medical aspect of what people call psychiatry. I'm not saying that there's no mental aspect of anything. Certainly there's mental and there's psychology. But if medicine fixes it, that makes it medical. And when people come to my office and they realize that they have a solution that is going to get them there, they feel better. It helps if they've been on the medicine before. Obviously, if they've taken medicine, 2 years ago and said, Doc, I was doing good, I stopped it for some reason, I'm back on it. Well, they absolutely walk in with the belief that they're gonna be better, because there's something to go back to what works. That's sort of like me when I don't wear my glasses. I put my glasses on, I see better. I take them off, I don't see. So I know when I put them back on, I'm going to feel better. When people have not had any treatment before, there's a certain amount of belief that they have to have, and that's part of what education and teaching is. But after 30 years, I can look at them and say, you know what? If you do this and it works, we'll stay with it. And if you do this and it doesn't work, we'll change, and we'll do that process in the troubleshooting fashion until you're better. That helps people feel better before the medication trial even begins. And that's not placebo, that's hope. And I call it the rescue effect. And if you're looking for that, you go to a provider and you say, look, I just need to have hope. I need a direction. That's one of the ways you can raise your hand. You can say, I'm in a dark ocean right now. I don't know which direction to go, and get someone to help you. Get them to screen you for the depression symptoms, the anxiety symptoms. And most primary care people do this automatically already. But if you're not doing a medication trial, you're not getting any results. And if you're suffering from those symptoms, the worst thing you could do would be to not do anything. So the better thing is to try something, and if it doesn't work, try something else. And if it works, build on it. So having hope, having a direction, believing that what you're doing is part of this process. That's not placebo. That's having hope and direction. That's the rescue effect. Wanted to share that with you today. I'm looking forward to this gal feeling better. I'm certain that she's going to. And I'm glad you're here with me on the channel today for me to share that with you. And as usual, appreciate you coming to see me. I'm Dr. Dave. We'll see you again.